Evening, Gassids. Welcome back to another live episode. Welcome back to Thursday Therapy, as it's now called. I hope everyone is doing well, of course, apart from the stuff around Rovers. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in live. Thank you again for tuning in if you're watching it back. Keep up the quality support. All the comments on the latest few videos about us three, the pod in general, the channel have been really positive. Keep up the amazing support. We always say it, but yeah, it does mean a lot. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. Get in your comments live as well. Of course, if you're watching back, leave them after. Of course, follow the socials. Josh on TikTok, YouTube, Neil, me, if you haven't already. Also the Talking Gas socials as well. Fan Hub code and all that. We'll just say hello to a few people. We got George Fox as well. Thank you for tuning in. Joe Jarrett, thank you for tuning in. Evening, lads, as a true sadist, I'll be going up to Blackpool. What a ride it's been. We go again next season, even into Ford on Blue. Yeah, Ford on Blue, you're off tomorrow to Blackpool on the Gary Morris Fun Bus, so enjoy that. Enjoy that. No, I won't be going to the game. Keep my hard-earned cash from those wasters. Fair play. Ben Gill, Thursday Therapy. Let's talk Shambles Gas. Yep, absolutely. Josh Bingham as well. Harry Jenkins. Looking at that comment for Josh. Shouting for 9 out of 10 gas. Toby as well. Even to you, Chris Collier and Ben Rowland. But yeah, getting your comments, even to Crime Scene 2 as well. And yeah, appreciate all the comments from other supporters as well that, teams from this league that watch it as well, because there's not just Rovers fans. There's been Orient, Reading, Birmingham. So fair play to you lot. Appreciate it. But yeah, Neil, how are you, mate? All good?
Yeah, mate. No sweat here. All good. No problem.
Yeah,
not
good
that
to
deep, is it? That ain't that deep.
Nah. Well, I say nah. I've been emotionally drained. Well,
it's out of our control, though, isn't it? It's nothing we can control. There's no
nothing
about it. It's out of our control. We just turn up and hope for the best, don't we? But
yeah, absolutely. Josh, how are you? Good.
Mate, I am just like a couple of those players. I couldn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, spot on, to be fair. Spot on. Ben Gill saying, jokes aside, thank you, all three of you, for the episodes this season. Guaranteed to be always late and no show like the team. Yeah, to be fair, obviously, the last episode was a pre-record, but that's because, all of us couldn't do certain days, etc. But, appreciate the support on that as well. But, we'll get into it. Like I said, leaving your comments. We'll also we'll obviously do the season review probably next week. If we're all available. If not, we'll make sure we do it on the one we're all available. Don't really want to leave it like 2-3 weeks. You might as well just get out of the way so we can enjoy the summer, enjoy life in general. But we'll get into the players that are out of contract briefly in a bit, because I've done the poll last night. Loads of people voted, so we'll get into that. That should be pretty easy, but I'll let you know the results on that as well. But yeah, get into it. We'll start off with Reading before we get into all the, the R and all that other stuff. Blackpool, other questions and topics that we'll get into, and obviously all the rumours, etc. But yeah, what can we really say that we haven't? Pretty much every week we've discussed a loss. 26 losses. Obviously, we broke the record. The stat that Josh pointed out, 5 home losses in a row for the first time in like 75, 80 years. It doesn't get any better. All of us went with a loss. Josh was the only one that said we'd score. I don't know what you were smoking, Josh, but there you go. Another defeat, another game without a goal. What more can we really say? But we will get into that first. Neil, what was your thoughts on the game? Nothing, like I said, nothing more than we really expected. Nothing more. We all said it on the last video we done. Yeah, what did you make of it?
Expectations met. You know what I mean? It's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's Reading at this point of the season were all wrong for us. All wrong for us. There wasn't any there was no calculation you could do. There was no coaching you could do. There was nothing you could do to try and pick holes in that to find a way of beating Reading. They were always going to win that football match. They had everything to play for. They've got killers that can hurt you. They can be patient. They can navigate us trying to dig in and try and be competitive and all the rest of it, or they'll turn it on and go for your throat. I thought they navigated it pretty well, considering it was a must-win game for them on the road. Yeah. Regardless, it was against us. They still had to go and do a job. And to be honest, I thought they went about it pretty well. They didn't really turn the screw too early. They just saw out the first half, had a little look, tested the water, came out second half, and went about their work pretty well second half. And to be honest, they weren't great. They weren't great. They weren't electric. Nibs was quiet. Who could have really tore us up if he was on their day. Sorry, but I just thought they were efficient. But they didn't expend any more energy than they had to. They went and got a job done, and they looked good at what they were doing. Like they were everything we weren't. They were well organised. They were well drilled. They were very much together as a side. They knew what they were good. They knew what they were good at on and off the ball. And when they needed a moment of quality in the final third, they went and found it.
Yeah. Like you said, basically everything that we're not. Yeah. Also got a comment from Paul as well. Commiserations, you boys and the other Gas fans deserve so much better. I love seeing a bouncing away end. Fair play to the Reading fans. Yeah. Well, like I said that's what annoys me. The mess they're in, on the pitch, they're still sound as you like, fighting for playoffs. Obviously, they could still get in there, but it's going to be interesting to see, if Orient or Reading get that last spot, because they've both been pretty consistent all season. To be fair, even from KT as well. Love from Canada. There you go. Gutted about relegation, but I think we can make a strong recovery next season after deep reflection this summer. Yeah. I mean, I was on the radio earlier. We'll get into it as well. But there's just, even for the most optimistic fan, I think, it's just going to be the summer is going to be long. And there needs to be a lot of change, of course, before we can all say, of course, as fans, we want top 2, top 3 playoffs or whatever. But there's so much needed. But it's pretty spot on, to be fair, Neil. Like always. Josh, what did you make of it?
It was just horrendous, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Before the game, it was just not one Gathead thought we were going to win that football match, and it also looked like the players had finally maybe just turned for the first 60 minutes potentially. We were looking decent, but I am so sick of always saying, "Oh, we've looked good," or "We look good here." We had a good performance, but we haven't come away from it, because the salient facts are we lost 2-0, and Reading didn't have to get out of third gear, and it was like at half time, the Reading players went in and said, "Listen, we've kind of rode our luck a little bit in the first 45 minutes. Pereira made some unbelievable saves, and they basically said, let's just put this to bed now. No more messing around here. Let's just put it to bed." What did they do? They just turned it up a little notch, and that was it. It was 2-0, and that's it. So any time that we ever good in games, we very seldom capitalize on it, especially in the last 10 games. We just looked so poor. And even when there was a little bit of hope because we were playing better, we still lose. So it is what it is, man. We were so bad. There was no way we were going to win a football match. Not with what Cowley, with what Reading, had at stake in that game. There was no way that we were going to win that game, and it was fleeting moments. And then once you're just back Rovers and you lose. It is what it is. We're just terrible. We are a terrible football side this season, and I'm really fearful for next season if we don't sort out upstairs departments. I don't think we get promoted next season. But yeah, I'm sure we'll come on to that next week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure if it's your connection or my connection, but you sounded a bit weird. So, Neil.
Yeah, I think it's me, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, that's no worries. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, you've seen it with me for a lot of the time. But yeah, Thomas Callahan saying second-rate recruitment and mentality all around. Ben saying, anyone heard about the Ian Evatt talks? Harry Jenkins, Grant Ward on the. Yeah, there's a picture, wasn't there? Of, yeah, I mean, it sums up. Obviously, they're going to go out, but yeah, it's just obviously at the time, anything. It's just going to annoy everyone if seeing that, but it is what it is now. I'm not surprised, nothing surprises me. Even to Andy as well, problem now, we have to get a whole new squad. They'll take time to gel. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, the thing is with Rovers, we sort of become used to that because it's every single season now we're having to rebuild. Like, for what, I mean, forget the issues off the pitch for a second. No team, I mean, and to be fair, it's happened to us, obviously, under Joey, where we got God knows how many players. It happened even under Darryl in that promotion, where we got pretty much a whole new team, but we still ended up getting promoted. But yeah, this time, like you said, we didn't have the shambles going on as well. But yeah, it's going to be probably what did we have in the summer just gone? 16 players. So it'll probably be the same, I would have thought. You got to think of all the out of contract loanees and the players, of course, relegation clauses, etc. Ben Gill saying Darryl Clark turning down the chance to come back tells you everything you know about the Kuwaitis. What's disappointing for me is just how poor every side in League One has looked this season, and we've been relegated. Yeah, well, like Neil just said then, and Josh. Yeah, I agree. There ain't really much more for me to add, to be honest. I said to Ben, who was sat next to me, he was like, because it's just the hope that kills. Well, it's not even that. We knew we were down anyway, and none of us thought really, in our heads anyway, that we were going to win or get anything out of this game, even with Rovers playing well, dominating, having the chances. We all knew that we were still going to lose that game because, like you said, a few little bits of quality, and then that was it. The heads dropped, like it has all season, and in the end, it was very, very comfortable, especially that last 20 minutes. And then, I mean, I think you two will probably have the same thing on it. I know Neil and a few of us have said about the Kofi being rushed into this mess, and he's pretty much been our best player since he's come into the team. But what did you lads make of that sub? It was pretty much summed up. Everyone, I think, in the whole stadium was I think fuming by that point when he made the sub to take him off. What was your thoughts, Neil, on that?
I mean, in isolation, it looks bad, but you never know what his GPS is saying. You don't know where he is with his body. Like he's played far too many minutes than he should have done in a extremely poor side as it is. Like I said before, the duty of care that kid's had off of this football club's awful as far as I'm concerned. But if his GPS is flagging up that he's in a red zone and there's a concern for like a muscle injury or anything like that, then that might be the reason they've dragged him. But in isolation and given the circumstances, I get why people are upset, but it was neither in or there. Do you know what I mean? It didn't make a difference, not a jot of a difference whether he stayed on or not.
Yeah.
The only thing it did do was save him from getting a niggle or an injury or whatever. But I know in isolation it looks bad. There's a football game to be won. He's one of our shining lights, considering he's a boy that's come back from a loan and he's looked up our biggest threat on the ball, but ultimately that game meant nothing, really.
Yeah, that's true. Josh, what did you make of it?
I agree with Neil.
Yeah. It's true because we said it, especially Neil. Me and Josh were more likely to play him because there's literally nothing else giving us hope. But yeah, Neil said it straight away. To be fair, to be fair, I said the same. But on the other hand, like you said, we've been that bad and that many players, not turning up or whatever. Then you're like, oh, just playing. But like you said, 17-year-old doesn't deserve that whatsoever. We'll actually get into this now because I was in the middle of it, but there ain't really much else more to add. Look good without doing anything. Like we've all said, and every other gashead has said, another team that's played us, and I thought they're not that good, but they still comfortably win. So that just sums up. That just sums it up, really. But yeah, we'll get into it. Obviously, like I said at the start, we will talk about it more, but we'll quickly get our thoughts because it's been going around. There's been questions asked, interviews, etc. Calderon, questions coming from Joe Jarrett saying, might seem redundant, but do we keep Calderon for next season? I think I know what Neil's going to say, but I'll let you have your say anyway on that question. What do you think? No,
he's got to go. I think he's out of his depth, to be honest. Like, granted, much like Taylor, he's had interference. He's not been able to do his job the way he'd like to. But 1 point from 27 30s, inexcusable. Inexcusable. I do feel for the bloke. He's come in. He's been missold a job. He's not been able to do it the way he'd like to do it. And he's had the rug pulled from underneath him. We'll never know how good that bloke is. We'll never really know. Yeah. But at this moment in time, he's in over his head. And I don't think that with him, whether it be with Calderon, it runs deeper than Calderon, the football club. Of course it does. But we'll never stop the bleeding with him in charge.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm sure most of you know, but his record, and I think this is counting by the Ipswich game, don't really matter anyway, but this is counting the Ipswich game. 26 games, 6 wins, 3 draws, 17 losses. Obviously one of the worst points per game. But yeah, I agree. Like you said, there's a lot of mess going on. What is it going to be? It was obviously our third manager in 18 months. It's going to be our fourth one, I think, pretty soon. And I get why. I sort of tiny bit get why people saying, give him a fresh start and give him the summer. But at this situation, for next season, we need someone that's been there and done it. And obviously, looking back at it, he shouldn't have been the man to. He's not going to say no to an opportunity. He is passionate, etc. But yeah, like you said, he's never, managed a first team environment. And yeah, like you said, the results speak for themselves. Yes, he's been unlucky with injuries. But I said it earlier, it wouldn't have mattered because with, Martin, Promise, and whoever else has been up front, even when they were with the team, we still weren't scoring goals. We were still struggling. So yes, he's been lucky, but yes,
he's been unlucky with his employer. To be honest, he's come into his first job and he's had the rug pulled from underneath him. And there's only people that have been in the game and have done it for a bit. They're the only people who know how to sort of navigate that situation or have some sort of gumption of knowing how to approach it. Calderon's in a sticky one, isn't it? First ever first team gig. Yeah, his record's terrible. What are you going to do? I mean, where does he go from here? He's going to have to take 2-3 steps backwards to build himself up again. Like, he's in reflection, he'll look at it and go, "That's a terrible move for me." But to be fair, it's not all his own doing. No. He's had an uphill task given what he's walked into. But he's in over his head.
I agree. Like I said, it's just been when you come into the mess, and yeah, I mean, it was crazy because when he first, I think we were 3 points above the drop when he first come in, starting at the Stevenage game, of course, yeah, and then after that, and do you know the thing that is, I feel sorry for is if you've seen, I mean, Josh, I think it was it the Mansell game? Definitely, like he looked absolutely broken, and even Bolton away, like he was almost done. So if you're, I also get it, and that's probably the first time it's ever happened to him where he's thought, Christ, like we're in trouble here, and you could see like the emotion and stuff. But like you said, yeah, as a player as well, looking at that, you're probably thinking, it's a bit dodgy as well. So, yeah, Josh, what's your take on it? Because I know I've seen a few, and that's, like I said, opinions is fair enough. I get people can have their opinion on if they want him to stay, etc. But Josh, what do you make of the situation? Would you let him stay after what's happened, or would you go for a new manager?
It's difficult because if in my job role I didn't turn up for 9 out of 8 courses to run, I'd be sacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you didn't go to work for 9 days straight, do you know what I mean? Like results, the results deserve him being sacked. We were 9 points clear.
Yeah.
And we've been relegated.
Yeah.
How do you keep a person like that in charge? I like him. I like his style of play, but you ain't going to play that in League Two.
No.
I'm telling you now, you're not playing that in League Two. And we need a type of manager, like you say, who kind of knows how we get out of this mess. Cowdy, it's his first job.
Yeah.
And we were 9 points clear, and we've been relegated with him at the head. Yeah, he's made some weird decisions. Yeah, all right, there's upstairs interference. But I just feel like this whole thing needs a fresh start. Now, I don't know who the hell would come in. No managers except in this job. So,
no.
But he ain't the guy to get us out of League Two.
No.
League Two. We've been there. We know what it's like. We aren't going to be given the opportunity to play pretty football and stuff. And then he's proved it. When the going gets tough and we've had to get stuck in, we've been relegated. So I just feel like I don't want him to go in that sense because I like him. And I think that given the freedom and given the correct bosses, I think that he could actually implement a very nice footballing style, but I don't think he brings grit, and I don't think he brings getting out of League Two-ness, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
1 point in 27, and people are like, I think that's worse than Joey when he came in, and bearing in mind, I think this relegation is worse than that one because we actually had fans.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah.
So I can understand why maybe the relegation team in COVID maybe went down. You ain't got the men behind you or whatever. And we had some terrible footballers, but you ain't got the best of the squad. Your job was to keep us comfortably in League One, implement a new style. All right, we had we've had a fair few injuries, but you failed at the task that you were given.
Yeah.
You failed at the task you were given, so he probably does need to go. But at the same time, I don't trust these managers to get someone in, trust these owners to get someone in that can do a job because no one will want to take the job if they're in charge. So we're in a very evil loop, mate, and it's depressing. It really is.
Yeah. Like you said, I agree. Yeah, I said it earlier. When that's what I mean. Everyone's going to know. Players will know. Agents will know. Agents will tell. new managers, etc. Yeah, it's going to be very tough. And like you mentioned, I mean, the best example, obviously, you mentioned about the football that Coward on, and to be fair, his style did have a good effect on us. Obviously, forget the Stevenage game, but you could see it happening. Orient, you've seen it happening, but we lost. But then, them games against Barnsley, although, looking back at it, we were very lucky. If we didn't have Griffiths in goal, we'd have probably been 3 or 4-0 down. But yeah, you mentioned the style of football. I mean, look at what MK Dons have just done. They're going for a completely, where are they? 18th this season, and their squad was. You looked at it and think, wow, they should win League Two, and they've had an awful season. And they've gone now for Paul Warner. I would never have thought would have took that job, but fair play. So yeah, I completely agree. I think most Rovers fans would agree.
My thing is his style of play ultimately got us relegated. That's what's happened here. And you look at that Stevenage game. What did Neil say on the podcast? They're going to come to us, try and spoil the party. They're going to outman us. They're going to out-physical us. And everyone knew that. And then that's the side we get. We don't match them. Stevenage outclassed us, out-tacticaled us on that day. Cowdy keeps saying that he's been having this tactical ball since he was 13. Where? What we got outclassed. We've been outclassed in all these games. And when the Sky cameras aren't on, what happens? We go and lose matches after matches after matches. We need a fresh start. I don't know who that's going to be, by the way. And if Cowdy, I mean, in hindsight, I like Cowdy's idea. I like Cowdy as an idea. But I just don't think he's the right guy to get us out of League Two. You could even say League One has a little bit more, down and play with it. League Two is a slog it league in some aspects.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm very aware my stream is bad. I do apologise, guys. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you try maybe restarting it or backing out and coming in. It might work. You could try that, maybe, or try switching to your phone. I don't know if you're on your phone or laptop. But yeah, you can try. I can't hear you, by the way. You muted yourself.
I'll be back in 1 minute. 1 minute.
All right, son. There you go. Technical issues, gas. Apologies. Apologies. I mean, most of you were used to it for me, but yeah, that's what I mean. I think I've seen most people's points on, it happened with, we got them. It happened with Daryl. It happened with Joey, but they had, Joey got Fleetwood to the playoffs in League One, and Daryl had promotions before, so they'd already had plenty. I mean, Joey didn't have loads of experience, but he got them in the playoffs. Daryl already had promotions, although it was lower league. He still had promotions and a good CV. Whereas, like you said, there isn't anything good to go off. Although a lot of us wanted him at the time. But yeah, like you said, I mean, the results speak. I know, we've harped on about it with the interference and stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's what, let us know in the comments as well. Type yes or no, and then we could have a look. But yeah, obviously we'll get into it more because, like you said, we Cowdy's obviously here for the Blackpool game, but we don't know if they're going to keep him. We don't know if they're going to sack him the day after. Who knows? But we'll go on to it more. I mean, Josh is back. Hopefully, it can be a little bit better. Here he is. He's back. It does sound a little bit better. So
I've gone to my phone. I don't know what happened, but my laptop. I worked today, obviously teaching, and I think my laptop's overheated because it was so hot.
Yeah. My phone was like that yesterday. It was literally on fire.
Mental. I'm not built for this heat.
Yeah, definitely. Thomas saying the problem with these squad overhauls is there's never a proper consideration about how the squad comes together. Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, one thing that you need in it. How many times have we said it on each podcast this season about another team's identity, how they play? With us, it's guessing work. Every game, pretty much. So there you go. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We went shit as soon as they scored. Apart from injuries, we've got no excuses. Ben saying, hope Josh has booked a holiday this summer. To be fair, Thomas saying, to be fair to Calderon, if anyone is going to understand how to manage guys like Kofi and Drewsbury properly, it would be former under-18s. Kofi coming off doesn't excuse the rest of them. Even to Stephen as well, to be honest, I've always been a Rovers fan. All my life from my dad and followed Rovers. I love the part of playing football and the Rovers on my team, but you lads give your all respect. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind comments. Relegation hurts. To be fair, there's a lot of comments saying who do we replace him with. We'll get onto it more next week or whenever we do the review, which probably will be next week. So just keep an eye out for that. Keep hitting the like button though. Keep getting your comments. Stephen, we just can't score. Yeah, I mean 18 games. I mean that's just under half. Of our league games. Give it or take it or whatever. That we haven't scored a goal. That's unbelievable. I think we're second. Was it second worst or something? It's crazy. It's crazy. People saying who we get, etc. We'll get into. Do you know the other thing? Obviously, Josh, you mentioned, and I think everyone's mentioned about obviously being 9 points clear. The other mad thing is the fact that obviously Crawley, who we were 12 points clear after that game, have now overtook us because of goal difference or goal score? It's oh my god, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. But we'll quickly get into the release players first. Like I said, we might get into it more next week as well, but I just want to get your general thoughts on it because we might as well do it now because there's no point of just doing an episode on this because it would literally be done in no time. But you don't have to give any thoughts. We can do that next week, but we can just do it yes or no. Because after the poll, we'll start off with Luke McCormick, and there's probably 300 votes each on these players. So there's quite a lot of people that have voted, so I appreciate everyone has done so. 45% said Mac a new contract, and 55% said no. Neil, your thoughts on Macca?
No, don't get another deal. His body, he's got a lot of work to do physically, Macca, to get himself back to being a EFL player, to be honest, to be able to get his body to get through, 40 plus game season, be durable, be robust. Like the ability of the boy, I haven't got an issue with. I've never questioned his ability. I think his football brain, his football IQ is really, really high. He's just physically shot. His body can't do what it used to do. That when he was sort of best of a bad bunch when we went down, and when he had that season at Wimbledon, he was flying and he was a gun, and he'd got them 2 injuries with us, and it set him back miles and miles, and he's never ever got back to it. And he's got a lot of work to do, Macca, to get himself physically robust enough to do EFL football, to be honest. But we can do all of these, mate. And I'll tell you now, not one of them's coming back in my eyes. Not one of them.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, there you go. Neil's pretty much said his thoughts. Interesting as well. That's his 3rd relegation of his career, McCormick. 2 with us, 1 with AFC Wimbledon.
He might get promotion though, if he's lucky.
Nah, Forest Green ain't going up. There's no way. They fell off a cliff since Jed's come back. I mean, there's probably other aspects as well. But they were top of the league.
Seen the keeper they replaced him with though.
Say that again.
Seen the keeper they've replaced him with though.
Is he that bad? Is he?
No, he's decent. He's like 6'9". He's a giant. If they go to penalties, they're winning everything.
Yeah, it's mad. Shout out to Keza as well. The January window was crucial. Yeah, that January window was. Wow, I can't remember what rating I give it. I'll have to try and get it up, and we'll talk about it when we do our review. Yeah, we'll talk more about the window, etc. But yeah, it's crazy. I think he's not. I think Reindorf's not even played 90 minutes. But yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, Neil's pretty much said no. So yeah, I know you left your vote on it, Josh, but Giovanni Brown, I think that's probably a no, easy, straight away. 78% said no. I'm surprised 22 said yeah, to be honest. Chris Martin, this is an interesting one. Me personally, I would have said yeah if he didn't get injured, but I spoke to him last week. Can still barely walk on crutches. He says maybe August, maybe September. So, and it's gutting though, because if he didn't have, I mean, why would he want to stay in League Two anyway? But I would have said yeah, but with his injury. But 61% said yes. Josh, what would you say on Martin?
I said yes, only because this whole complete rebuild thing it's just obviously not the way forward, and we need people in the building that can bring experience. And I think genuinely we would not have been relegated with him on the football pitch. So I'm saying yes purely because he's a fantastic finisher. I know he's going to be old, but we need someone in that forward line that has a bit of experience, that actually knows how to score goals. We just don't have it.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, it would be a yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, like I said, it's just an injury. It's frustrating.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I would have said yeah. Let us know in the comments as well. But yeah, Harry, regarding the comments to Calderon, yeah, he agrees that Calderon shouldn't stay. You're in trouble when Charlie's giving you IT advice. Yeah, especially after, yeah, like I said, the shambles that I had. Keep hitting the like though. Keep getting your comments. Grant Ward. Now, this was an interesting one. I was expecting, no on a much bigger scale, but it was 51% said no and 49% says yes. I was amazed, to be honest. Josh, what do you make of that?
The people who said yes probably all bought a vape off him or something. No, listen, that I'm kind of, I mean, my dad can't stand the bloke, footballing wise. I do rate Wardy. I do think he's decent in moments, but I'm trying to take people's advice to me when I say on his days. Neil said it so many times.
Yeah, that's Neil's phrase.
Yeah, you can't be an on-your-day player all the time. And he plays well for one game. What was that one game where he got 2 assists at the Mem? And also, the Burton away, he was superb. And was he good at Burton at home as well?
Yeah. Burton at home, he played well.
And he put that unbelievable ball in the box.
Yeah, and the assist for Barnsley was good against.
Yes, but if I asked you to think of a couple more, you couldn't.
There's probably 5 or 6 games.
Exactly. So, and he's injury prone. He's just, I don't know. It's just not that picture. I know that they have lives outside of football, which just winds me up. It's a no from me. It's a no, definitely a no.
Yeah, and Neil, obviously, you think no. Would any of Neil? A question for you: Are you basing these just of obviously your thoughts, or you basing it as in what the football club would do, or both?
No, it's what I do. What are you bringing back? What are you rewarding? What culture are you setting? It needs decks need clearing. Like, you're taking the football club down. Mm-hmm. You've been appalling professionals throughout. You know, anyone that's out of contract can go. Like, you need to if Rott's in, get it out and build again. And I know what people are saying about overhauling the squad, but you've got no choice. Because if you bring these lads back for another year or whatever, what on the basis of what? Have you sat down and assessed it? What are you bringing them back on the basis of what?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's true. Loads of people saying about who should stay. Tom Butler saying if we had stayed up, I'd have kept 4 or 5, but now none. Fresh start required. So yeah, agreeing with Neil. Tom saying we need a midfielder who we can rely on, who actually wants to be here. Yeah, spot on.
Who doesn't want to be at Pam Pam's?
Yeah, or Rayner. Yeah. Sinclair. I mean, I was expecting 100% on a no, but it was 84, so it was still really high. But yeah, there ain't really much more else to say, I don't think, from any of us on Sinclair and any of the
one of the biggest no's of them all, I think.
Yeah, 100%. James Wilson, 61% said yes, and 39% said no. So yeah, I wouldn't personally. I don't think he wants to be here anyway, especially after that interview. Anyway, I think a lot of people. Josh, what is? I can't remember what you said. What would you do with Wilson? You said yeah, didn't you?
I said yeah. I've been a convert. I don't know what it is about the bloke.
To be fair, he has. I know he's been bad, but he's in our top 3 best players. But it might say a lot.
His interview is the reason that I want him to stay.
Yeah,
because there are a few other names out there that I know have given an absolute bollocking to some of the younger lads. And I just think Willow, I know Neil said about you've been bad professionals, but I think we can all assume he's probably not talking about someone like a James Wilson, because he has been a superb professional. I know he gives it a stick to a couple of the fans, but if you give it, you've got to take it every now and again. Like, it is what it is.
That's his first ever relegation as well, by the way.
First ever relegation. He's fuming with the side. He's called out a few of the younger boys. He's always puts his body on the line. He's kept himself in shape. And I think that his performances on the pitch have actually warranted him to be offered another contract. Whether he accepts it or not, fine. But I think he deserves the offer of one at least. And I've been a bit of a convert. I didn't like him at the end of last season. In fact, I think I asked him to go. But I just, my mind's flipped a little bit now, because I don't think that the rot that we're talking about is Willow, is Martin.
No.
I don't think that is the rot. I think the rot is the younger players who thought that, listen, we'll get onto that because it just winds me up. But I would offer him a new contract. I just think that we need some experience, and he sets good standards. You wouldn't be getting rid of a Paul Coots, I know he's a different type of player, but he sets good standards and he demands things, and I think that that's what we need. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Neil mentioned it a couple of weeks or months ago about, he's not at the sort of clubs he's been at if he's lazy or doesn't care. And I know I can get why people, because he comes across as, he comes across that he always sounds, even when he's like talking about a positive thing, he always sounds quite down and negative, and his sort of tone of voice. But that's what I mean. You're not at the clubs that he's been at, Sheffield United, Ipswich, etc. Won the league at Lincoln, won the league at Plymouth before we signed him.
I would argue it's because he cares that's why he speaks like that.
Probably.
Yeah, I agree. I think, as far as the comment of what the culture is at the football club and it needs changing, I'd be very surprised if Willow sits within that hub of what that culture is. But he comes across the way he comes across, and I think he's volatile towards what is getting thrown at him from fans, etc. Because he's a solid. I expect he's a solid pro. I mean, like the club he's been at and what he's won and the way he's operated. And like I said before, you look at Wilson, Ward, LT, Connor, didn't sign up for this. They signed up for the Joey thing. Yeah. That's what they signed up for. This is where I want my career to go. This is the environment I want to operate in. This is what I want to be around. And they didn't sign up for any of what they've got here, and it's probably their head's probably fallen off of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he will stay.
I don't think he will either. If you
would offer him the chance to.
If you're going into being a decent pro and what he's won, the way he's kept himself always available at his age.
Why would you stay anyway?
I just don't think this football club meets his standards or meets his expectations.
I agree, because he has to compromise, I think, on his standards and the things that he does every day. And if that happened in a normal business at work, if you don't see eye to eye with your bosses and it comes to a natural conclusion, then it goes. This is his way out, guys. This is it.
Yeah.
It's just sad, because without someone like him around the building, what's going to happen here? It's just
That's where your man from Stoke comes in. He's got to earn his coin, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said about all of these jobs, and whether you're in the dugout, whether you're a recruit man, you've got to be allowed to do your job. You're only going to know how good anyone is if you let them do their job.
Yeah. Absolutely spot on. I think Thomas is agreeing with what Neil said basically at the start about I wouldn't have any of them, saying based on personal experience, culture is one of the most fragile things in any workplace. Rewarding failure is not the way to go. That's spot on. I think suicidal despair, I don't know if you're a Rovers fan or not, but I guess you are. I think Cowdy is doing an okay job. His tactics were working against Reading. That's true. Just no end product, no end piece. Players fell apart after the first goal. He also said he wanted. He did. Yeah, he did say that. Ben Rowland saying Wilson is fit to play. I mean, I was going to mention it in the review, but everyone would probably know anyway if they look into stuff. But Wilson is the only player that's played every single league minute. Only player.
Availability is the best.
Yeah. He's not a minute, not even coming off. Yeah, he's the only player to play every single minute. Harry saying, don't think you can go into next season with Taylor and Wilson as the two centre backs again. To be honest, Brem saying Taylor should look to move away from Rovers for his own good. I would actually agree on that. Of course, I want him to stay. But unfortunately, if we're being realistic, I think, we've mentioned a lot of players that should move away. Even if it's a Jamer as well, no worries if you're late. I hope you had a good birthday as well. Keep Taylor Moore, Jed Ward and Drewsbury. The rest can go. That's fair. That's fair enough.
You got to get rid of them though.
That's another one. Yeah, it's going to be.
You're sat on nice money. If you're sat on nice money, granted, they're all going to take 25% less because they've been relegated. Granted, but if you're looking around with your agent and nothing better's coming up, you just sit on it, don't you? But whether the football club want you to go or not, it's your prerogative. Yeah,
spot on. Sawyers was the next one. I'm surprised 37% of people said but that's a no. I thought he was going to be. And to be fair, Neil, I think Neil says a lot of right stuff, but Neil, when we done the first pod after he signed, I don't know I can't remember what you said, Josh, but Neil was basically, I think me and Josh were trying to big it up, really like the sign in from what he's done in this, but I think the not playing for a year or especially his age has not done him any favors. He's not played a lot, but apart from what game was it? The Mansfield game where I thought he played well. Yeah, he's either not been fit or when he has played, he's just looked. I mean, was it the Mansfield? It was the Mansfield goal, wasn't it? That absolutely. No, not the. What game was it? No, the Exeter game where Saturiu kicked it up.
Kicked it in the air,
in the air, that just done my head in.
That was the Stevenage game.
Oh yeah, Stevenage game. Sorry, yeah. There's just been
it was Jamie Reid when it was scored.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Eamon saying 12 months ago we got relegated, but this season we turned around. Hope you get some luck and have a good season. Great support at St Andrews from you guys. Keep the faith. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of the Birmingham fans have been absolute class. Supporting the channel, so I appreciate that. Next one, Jack Hunt. 70% said yes. I would keep him personally, but I think he'll go closer to home. He'll go closer to home. And yeah, we've mentioned it a lot of time, but the way he's been treated was a shambles. How you can let your best fullback just, it's a joke. It pisses me off, let alone how Jack Hunt feels. He must be absolutely fuming. And fair play to him, because he could have easily said something. We probably have said something that stayed inside, but he could have. Yeah, that's crazy. What would you say for that? You said yeah, didn't you, Josh, to Hunt?
Yeah. You know my thoughts on Hunty.
Yeah, Hunty's class. And Matt Hall, the player that's played 2 games for Rovers, both in the Peter Cup, conceding 7 goals. Was brought in as a third choice anyway under Joey. 12% said yeah. So there you go. 88% said no. Yeah, he's just, what is he, 23? I think, he's miles off it anyway, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, we're pretty much getting to Blackpool now. That's enough said on that. Like I said, we'll get into more other stuff next week. But yeah, we've obviously talked about the Reading game, talked about Calderon. We'll pretty much get into Blackpool, but keep getting in your questions. I mean, Blackpool, let's go on the previous game. 2-0 home defeat. That was probably one of the worst home performances I've seen. There's been not as many bad performances, of course, and especially in the last 5 home games, of course, the 5 home losses in a row. But it's mad doing it. Before that, we were seventh best home team in the league, and now I think we've gone to 14th now. I think we were just behind Wickham home performances, and we've gone. Yeah, that says a lot. We talked about at the time of, can we keep this home form going? But there you go. It's just absolutely fell. But yeah, Blackpool lost 2-0. I think it was a Lee Evans penalty and a Bryant Belongo own goal. I'm pretty sure he got took off after he made the mistake. And that game, Wilson bollocked him. I remember that anyway. But yeah, what do you two make of, obviously, Blackpool? They've had a solid season. Obviously, from their point, they'll be disappointed. I think if they would have had Steve Bruce a bit longer, they probably could have got playoffs, because they've been very consistent, but they've just not won enough games. They've drew so many games. Even you look at their home form, 16th in the league. They've drew 11 and only won 6. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, that home game was one of the worst, wasn't it? Neil, what's your thoughts, and what can you remember from that game, and your thoughts on Blackpool in general?
I think Blackpool was an outside bet, I think, to make playoffs. I think they've probably finished more or less come the end of the season where everyone else expected them to. I don't think many would have had them in that playoff mix come the end. I thought they'd be competitive, and they have been. I don't think anyone can be too disappointed. It is nice to have a push come the end of the season, but they just didn't have enough in them come the end. But it's been all right. I expect it's a box ticked. It's another what they consider half decent season for them, and they'll look to build again under Bruce and see if they can find a way of getting a little bit closer. But like I said before, this league's full of big hitters now, and it's difficult to try and get in there. So they're a solid League One side, Blackpool.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, what can you imagine? Because I remember you after that game, we're absolutely fuming. That was what. We found out some interesting things after that. But yeah, what did you? What did you make of Blackpool? And of course, can you remember from that game? It's just Lee Evans ran the show, didn't he?
This is why I was taking pelters when I was asking for Lee Evans down Rovers. He's only played like 3 minutes in the last 4 years or whatever, and that's why I wanted him. It's up there with one of my favourite performances from an opposition player down the Mem in a while.
Yeah.
I just thought he was superb. He slotted that penalty. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were miles off it. Yeah, I mean, I heard what Wilson said to Belongo as well. It was he was giving him an absolute rollicking. So, and again, that's why I don't want to lose a player like that. But Blackpool. I agree with Neil. Outside chance for playoffs, but they're probably around about where most expected.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they're going to want to finish the season strong after obviously losing to Birmingham. So yeah, they're going to want to put it right. They probably are on the beach, but we're buried under the sand, aren't we? Really, so it's not.
Literally.
It's not exactly a matchup.
Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, one win in 5, but that doesn't matter. They'll probably beat us 3 or 4-0. Lost 2-0 to Birmingham the other day. Drew 1 away at Wigan. Lost 2-1 to Wrexham at home. Beat Stevenage 3-1 away when Apter, who I rate a lot, Rob Apter, who was good, very good against us as well. Got a hat trick that game, and then lost to Rotherham 3-1. I think it was 2 or 3-1. Yeah, Fletcher and Ennis is someone who I wanted. Ennis has done really well for them. Fletcher, the ex-Man United academy graduate, 11 goals, up to 8 goals. Ennis 6 since he joined them loan in January. Lee Evans and Albie Morgan in midfield. Hamilton, obviously they play a 4-4-2. And one player, if you can remember, Elkan, he's there, isn't he, as well? So he's bound to just sink the nail in the coffin. Last game of the season, I think he started the last 6 games there. Yeah, like you both mentioned, solid side, good at set pieces, good at doing the basics, which we're not. Pace on the wings, like to cross the ball, big man, small man partnership. Yeah, none of us are looking forward to it. Fair play to every single one of you going up there, although I'm sure most of you aren't going to watch the game. I know pretty much everyone I know going up there ain't watching the game. They're just going up there to get absolutely smashed and forget about how crap we've been this season. So, yeah, fair play to everyone that is actually watching the game, because even I actually took my ticket back before we kicked off on Saturday. So yeah, I'm just done. Yeah, we'll get into it. I mean, it doesn't really matter now. We're obviously down there, not going anywhere, but they're 21 points ahead of us as well. Yeah, sums it up really. Let's get into lineups, although it doesn't really matter. Neil, what would you go for? Would you try and pick as good a side, or would you just be like, pick anything?
No, the way I'd approach it is, if you're in contract, you play, and if you're not, you don't. There's certain caveats to that. I play Hall. I give him a run. Why not?
Why not? Give him his first game.
He hasn't caused no trouble. Granted, he's not good enough. That's just how it is. He's just not good enough. But having said that, he was brought in as a third choice keeper, and that's what you get from a third choice keeper. You don't want to pay a lot of money on a salary. You bring in a kid that will come and do a job in the week, knowing full well you're not going to play on a Saturday, and served his purpose, Matt Hall. So I give him a game. Back three of Taylor Moore, Connor Taylor, Clinton Mola, all 3 are in contract.
Yeah.
I give Scott Sinclair one last run out before he leaves. Potentially retires. Scott Lindsay in contract. Luke Thomas in contract.
Scott Lindsay, oi. Is he going to play for the Gas just to take the piss?
In contract. Isaac Hutchinson in contract. Shaq Ford in contract. Sotirio in contract. Dewsbury, I don't know what the deal is with Dewsbury, but I play him, and if there's a deal to be done, then have him. Yeah,
that's fair enough. Josh, what would you do? Would you do the same, or would you go a bit more rogue?
Mate, I'd probably only take 2 subs. You can't have them up there in Blackpool, can you? Because they'll be out on the piss. So
roller coasters away.
I would go Matt Hall in goal. I'd go Taylor Moore. I like Wilson. I would go, Wilson, Taylor, Moore, and then I'd go Mola, right wing back, left wing back. Sorry, I'd go Hunty, right wing back. One last hurrah, so we can actually get a clap if he is going to go. Then I would play in the middle of the park, Hutch and Lindsay. Why not?
Yeah.
And then in the 10, Shaw, and up top I'd play Satiriu and I'd play Ollie Dewsbury.
Yeah.
Give him a run out.
Yeah, why not? Innit? He's obviously he played a few games. Yeah, again, like you said, that game against Reading, I felt sorry for the pair of them. Connor Taylor and Dewsbury up top. It's absolute madness. Yeah, but yeah. I would probably go, Matt Hall, why not? I was actually there for both of his games as well. So there you go.
He's terrible.
Spending
He was
away.
awful, but Neil's right. He's been a good professional.
Yeah. Like you said, third choice keeper, isn't it? Although, third choice keeper. Matt Hall in goal. I would go Taylor Moore, Connor Taylor, and Mola. Left wing back, Luke Thomas. Right wing back, I would play Hunt, because who else are you going to play there? That's fit anyway. Senior's disappeared. I don't know where the hell he is. He's probably waiting for next season after getting League 2 Player of the Year, Team of the Season, Morecambe Player of the Year. Midfield 2 of Lindsay and Hutch. Number 10, Kofi. Up top, yeah, I agree. Dewsbury and Satiriu. Pace.
I would put Huntley on the bench, Taylor Moore right wing back, and I bring LT in left wing back, to be fair, because he deserves another, because he's
still in contract, isn't he?
Yeah.
1 year left. It's going to be interesting we'll get into all that next week. Right, finally, score predictions. Are we going to actually win a game when there's no pressure whatsoever, or is it going to be matching the other relegation we had back in COVID where we get 27 losses? Let us know in the comments. Of course, if you don't leave them in the comments right now, leave them in the comments after the stream is finished, if you're watching back as well. Chris Collier has gone Blackpool 3, Rovers 0. There you go. I'm not really sure at the moment, but let us know. Keep hitting the like button as well. Amazing support as always. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We're only about 160 away from 6K, so keep up the class. Support, follow Josh, help him YouTube, TikTok, and give Neil a follow as well. Absolute legend of the game and the club. Tom Butler 3-1 Blackpool. Harry Jenkins 2-0 Blackpool. Neil, I'll go with you first. Score prediction, goal scorers, if any, probably not. Are we going to get on the final day and final game in League One for at least a year, probably more?
Dead rubber, nothing on it. A complete chore for every single one of them lads. Flights will be booked for tomorrow for plenty of them. It will probably be played at half a pace. 1-0 Blackpool, Ennis, something like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was expecting more, but like you said, dead rubber. But there you go. 4 on blue. I don't know if you've already had a few beers before you've got on Gary Morris, but you've gone 2-1 gas. Fair play. Enjoy it, by the way, because Blackpool is an absolute lovely, lovely place, especially with the sun. Just don't go in December like me and Neil did, because it was an absolute shambles. Tom Powell, Rovers 5, Blackpool 2. Again, celebrating the relegation party. He's had a few. Thatcher's and Sam 2-0 gas. Fair play. Josh, score prediction and goal scorers if we're going to score, or will it be 19 league games without a goal?
We will definitely lose the game. That's a given. But I do think it might be like 2-1 to Blackpool, only because I'm really trying to manifest Dewsbury to get his first goal.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Or even Kofi, to be fair, because once again he hasn't scored or assisted since coming back. So it would be nice for one of the young lads to get a goal. But yeah, Neil's right. Nobody will care about this football match, including the fans. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. But it would be nice for someone like a Dewsbury or a Shaw to get their first goal. So we'll lose 2-1. It is what it is.
What about Blackpool? Who's going to score?
It'll probably be Joseph and Ennis.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, is he gone? Is he?
Yeah, he went to. He's gonna actually come back to League One because he's getting relegated with Hull.
Oh yeah, he went to Hull, didn't he? Carl Joseph. Yeah, sorry. Who am I thinking of? Who's
probably Fletcher, maybe.
Yeah, what, the tallest striker in the blooming league? Yeah, all right. Yeah. We'll go Fletcher and Ennis because I wanted Ennis.
Me too.
I was pounding for Ennis and he just didn't come. So yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, of course he's gone to Hull. How did I forget that?
Yeah, him and that who's the other? Charlie Hughes, the other ex-Wigan lad as well. They're both coming back down to League One. Funny enough, at the moment anyway. Gutted in it as well. I wanted to tick off Hull, but instead I'll be ticking off Barnet. Hey, up the shambles. Wow.
Truro City next.
God, Christ Almighty! Oh my God. Yeah, Barry's gone 3-0 Blackpool. JMO has gone 3-0 Blackpool. Tom Powell's also said Shaq Ford to get sent off. I wouldn't be surprised
if he gets on the pitch.
Yeah. I'll go. God. I think even if Blackpool play at half pace, they'll still batter us. Although they've only got 1 win in 5. I'll go 4-1 Blackpool. I'll go Kofi to get a goal, and I'll go Fletcher 1, Ennis 2, and Elkin Baggett just to put the nail in the coffin. 4-1 Blackpool. There you go. I'd love to win, but I can't see it. Harry Jenkins with an amazing comment. I'd actually seen this player in town about a month ago. Get Kyle Hudlin to the mem. Get it. #hoofball gas. If any of you don't know, he's about 6'9", 6'10", is he? Something like that.
If he signs for my football club, I'm gone.
Get him to the mem, man.
Mate, no way.
Get him to the mem.
No way.
It's going to be next season, so you might as well get one up on and get the tallest player in the league.
When we go semi-pro, that's fine.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's going to be mad. But yeah, there you go. We've pretty much finished with this week's episode. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in. I know it's been an absolute shambles, but appreciate all the support, likes, all the comments, etc. Yeah, you lot have been class. So yeah, only one more live episode this season. Of course, that will be next week. We'll let you know if we don't do it next week, it'll be the week after, but it probably will be next week. So yeah, follow us on socials. Leave a like. Thanks to Josh and Neil as always. Thanks to you lot in the comments, whether you're a Rovers fan, Birmingham fan, whatever. It's been absolute class. I will do a match reaction. Of course, I'm not going to the game, but might as well tick off the final game. But yeah. What more can I say? Class support. Leave a like. Leave your thoughts down below. Score predictions. Follow the lads. Follow the podcast. And we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas. Lead to promotion push. Here we go.